Good morning, Alan. Hello, everyone else, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. Today, Jon Pertwee and the Silurians. A year or so ago, I did a story, Jon Pertwee and the Sea Devils, one of my most popular videos. So let's go back and visit the original version of that story, Jon Pertwee and the Silurians, and see if I learned anything new. And if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. And now, Jon Pertwee and the Silurians. I did a video, Pertwee and the Sea Devils, a while back, one of my better viewed videos. In it, I would show how The Sea Devils was a remake of this story, Doctor Who and the Silurians. Now, I'm going to use the Silurians from now on. So, how do I approach this with something different? This story was almost without the influence of a producer, with Peter Bryant and Derek Sherwin leaving and Barry Letts entering. But Letts had commitments that kept him from having a lot of influence until the very end. But what an impact that would turn out to be. This story is also the first solo script for Malcolm Hulke. Of his 8 scripts, 6 are for the Pertwee era. Yet Hulk is a vocal opponent of the Earthbound stories, even going as far to say Earthbound Doctor Who as being good only for alien invasions and mad scientists. Terrence Dicks would shoot back with the premise of this story. However, they came up with it, it is a fantastic premise and will be used again. Our basic premise is as follows. The aliens are actually the former dominant species on the planet, forced into hibernation for vaguely defined reasons. The plot generally involves them waking up and wanting their planet back. This puts the Silurians in an odd position. On one hand, the concept is a reworked base under siege. Remember, the show is now in a period where it has not figured out what it will be going forward. Season 7 is a gamble, one season to reinvent and recharge itself while recovering from rapidly falling viewing figures in Troughton's last season. On the other hand, the Silurians predicts how the rest of the Pertwee era will approach its stories. Two of the major thematic concerns of the Pertwee era are the 70s ever-growing fascination of ancient scientific mysteries and a growing awareness of our cultural and ethical shortcomings. Here, Hulk would use both with great skill. The Silurians are an ancient secret history of the world, returning to claim the world in a classic style base under siege. The Doctor's concern is keeping the boundary between the inside and the outside. But in this story, the Doctor's relationship between himself, the humans, and the Silurians is more complex. This reflects somewhat the man who fell to earth concept of the Pertwee era. Pertwee's strong performance allows Hulk to continue the series' commitment to more social justice influence on its stories. A popular critique is that The Silurians is too long, and I agree. For one, to sit down and watch it in one sitting, it will drag. So the idea of breaking it up into multiple sessions is good. Malcolm Hulke has found a way to make Doctor Who work as an earthbound thriller. First, this is still a base under siege, and the structure of a base under siege requires an authority figure who stonewalls the White Hats at every turn. But Hulk's authority figure has to be the Brigadier, who by definition is sympathetic to the Doctor, meaning Hulk will have to keep the Brigadier from performing his basic military duty, bring in the soldiers, and start shooting. Instead, we get a Brigadier butting heads with his civilian counterparts. At the same time, what do we do with Liz Shaw? She spends way too much of her time just standing around. Of course, this gives Pertwee a chance to be full Jon Pertwee Doctor, and this is what the series really needs. The series' future, remember, it is still in doubt at this time. The cliffhanger for episode 3 has the Doctor coming face to face with an unknown species. This scene tells us who and what this Doctor will be. What happens? The music swells, the feeling of tension is elevated, and the Doctor reaches his hand out and happily says, "Hello, are you a Silurian?" Unflappable and full of confidence, no need to be scheming and reacting. Amazingly, this Doctor, when confronted with an angry lizard person, knows that this is not a threat. The Silurian performances are a bit of a problem. BBC costuming cannot give them a decent version of the characters. The problem is that the Silurians are individuals with personalities and motivations, not a herd of mindless creatures. Yet all of the costumes are the same, all incapable of any facial features, and even they have the same voices. All are performed by Peter Halliday. So what we have is the audience responding to the idea of the Silurians, not the performance. Then a major plot device that has become even scarier and frightening 50 years later on. The Silurians releasing a deadly plague on humankind. The recent worldwide epidemic drives this fear home. The Silurians does bring a significant theme of the Pertwee era, and it will be revisited at least twice. Secret ancient mysteries. What is interesting is the explanation of why the Silurians are hibernating underground. A giant asteroid is heading to and going to strike the Earth. But after they have gone into a forced hibernation, instead of striking the Earth, it is pulled into orbit and becomes our moon. We will also touch on race memory here, as Silurians often hunted and destroyed the primitive apes of their time. And now we fear the caves, as our ancestors knew the Silurians were hiding there. Now, back to the major input Barry Letts had on the ending of the story. Basically, after tricking the Silurians back into hibernation, the Doctor wants to wake them, one at a time, and negotiate a peaceful return, only for the Brigadier, under orders, to blow up their base. Staring in horror, the Doctor will declare, "That's murder. They were an intelligent race of alien beings, and a whole race of them. He wiped them out." Now, it would be difficult to imagine the Doctor wanting to continue working with the unit after this, but he is stranded in one time and one place, and that will make for strange bedfellows. And the Doctor does care for humankind. So I hope that you enjoy Doctor Who and the Silurians. It is a great story, and Jon Pertwee gets off on a great first adventure. So enjoy your journey through time and space. Good night. Stay safe.